Alright, this is the third video I've made today. That's not an issue, right? Is that something else I have to deal with? Like, is this a bad impulse to just keep making stuff all the time? Okay, so I'm here to talk about the Cuphead show trailer. We had gotten some kind of teasery thing a long time ago. I want to say it was more than a year ago. And now we have the first, and maybe the only, full official trailer from Netflix for the Cuphead show. It releases, February 18th? Something like that. It's in about a month. I had heard very little about the show. I don't even know what animation studio is handling it, but I'm here to share my impressions. And unfortunately, my sort of gut reaction to this trailer is pretty negative because more than anything, the appeal of Cuphead, and we're not talking about gameplay is one thing, but the reason it was such a huge hit and the reason why they can keep, they're doing new DLC, there will probably be some kind of sequel or some other game in a very similar style at some point. The reason for the popularity is the look. It very faithfully revived an animation style that was most ubiquitous in what's typically called the golden age of American animation. Fleischer was still around at the time. They did a bunch of stuff like that. Even early Warner Brothers stuff, even Disney stuff, even early Disney animated cartoons just had an incredible level of detail and an incredible sense of energy in its character animation, and it's genuinely beautiful to watch. Even if you're not a fan of like visual comedy and stuff, if you go back and watch those old cartoons, you can find a ton of them on YouTube now. One of the most famous, I think, is Swing You Sinners. There seems to be a reference to that cartoon here in the trailer for the Cuphead show. It's just immediate. It's just immediately obvious why it's so appealing and why people love it, and that's what we got out of the game. You don't even really have to play the game. Just watch a Let's Play, watch different boss fights and stuff. Like, it's gorgeous. It was all actually hand animated. It took a very long time because that's the thing, right? That's why that's one reason why the style of animation hasn't been around for so long, or at least not part of the mainstream, is because it takes a very long time. Animation in general is very hard. It's very time intensive. It's very cost prohibitive in a lot of cases. And so it's just not the style. We just have very basic joints, on TV animation characters. We don't see them go off model ever, but that's not the point of those shows. If we look at The Simpsons and mid to late career Simpsons and Family Guy and Bob's Burgers, Rick and Morty, all this kind of stuff, no one's actually there for the animation aspect. That just allows them to do whatever they want, to have whatever environments they want to show, and wacky situations. But back in the day, the animation itself was the appeal. A lot of people responded to that when they got around to playing Cuphead. And here, watching this trailer, it's very simple. I don't have great feelings about it, specifically because I don't feel that. I don't get that sense of care and attention to detail and life and originality. It just feels really flat. They do have some kind of lame like film grain effect going on to make it look like an old film print or something, kind of. The characters stand out very much against the background. Not necessarily a bad thing, but they also look inconsistent when compared to the backgrounds. The backgrounds look much more grainy. It looks like work done on actual paper. I'm sure it was all digitally done. The characters themselves look so much more modern, and it's completely throwing me off. I think, I don't know. On the one hand, it seems strange to me. The animators working on this, I'm sure they realized this. I'm sure they realized, this doesn't feel faithful to that original vision. It doesn't feel like the old Tex Avery cartoons or anything like that. Maybe it was a management decision. Maybe it was some kind of creative decision down the line, or maybe just a financial decision. Like, look, this is a show. It's a Netflix show. It probably doesn't have a huge budget, and we just don't have the time or the money or both to actually do straight up Cuphead style animation for an entire show. It just wasn't viable. That has to be it, because otherwise, why wouldn't you just do that? This feels different. If anything, it feels like a throwback to early 2000s cartoons, but that's the point. I'm sorry I'm reiterating this so much, but that was the point of Cuphead. That is the appeal of Cuphead. That is why the brand is so strong. This is not that. This feels cheap ultimately. The backgrounds, I get some of the sense of the style. Some like extras and background characters, their character designs do feel, authentic to that era of animation. But beyond that, and specifically Cuphead and Mugman themselves, I don't like their look. I don't see anything all that great about how they're being animated. They're trying, I guess. And on top of that, the voice acting throughout, I'm not a fan. It doesn't seem like the vision was there. I don't feel like everybody on the team behind this show was either on the same page or was allowed to try to really faithfully imitate that style. It's just not here. Sorry, that's the bottom line. Maybe I should just stop talking soon, but it's just not here. I don't feel that magic. It feels cheap. It feels much more contemporary. I'm far less interested in the show now. I probably will watch it. It's just on Netflix, whatever. But I'm sorry. I'm a little bit concerned about how this is going to turn out. But please share your thoughts. Yeah, it's just not working for me. Okay, that's all. Thanks for stopping by.